Bat! Bat and I are gonna fight. Hold up. Come on, Bat. Square up. Let's go. No, Bat. No. Woo! I know you're all like, why are you so scared of this bat? Because they only have 1 life. If I die, I have to start the whole game over. And I'm just not emotionally prepared for that right now. So I am really trying my best not to die. I feel like we missed... I feel like we missed a box. Because where's... It says try the path to the east. Maybe there's something over here we missed. Let's go check it out. Let's go see. This is... what's up there? Oh, nothing. Okay, fine. Hey, Ice Cold Brew! Don't touch me. Oops. Can I get through here? No. I need something to... Oh. Oh, no! No! It moves now! Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. Okay, it's fine. We're gonna do this very, very tactfully. It's fine. Nope, we need to get close to it. There we go. Okay. Whew! 1 down. Oh, that was stressful. Oh no! That was stressful for no reason. Okay, we got this. Ooh, okay. Ooh, don't touch me, please. Okay, it's fine. Just carefully, murdering this. Ooh, no. Oh, path unlocked. Let's go. Hey, we got an overworld. Look at this. We got some Final Fantasy going on. We got turn-based battles. Oh, yeah! Oh no, Ice Cold Brew redeemed people! Okay, hold on. Let me get through this battle first. And then we will definitely redeem people. Say something nice about the bat! No. I refuse to say anything nice about that. That bat is a bully, and I don't appreciate it. Hey, we have won! 100 gliss. Not kills. No, that's Final Fantasy. This is Evoland, so it's gliss. Love that for us. Alright, so we have an overworld. Oh, dang it! Okay, attack. Oh. I am a pro. Oh, what? This got introduced back in 1990? Really? Wow. Stand on the path means you... Is that a chocobo? Anyway. It's not. It's just a big... It's an Emuk. Not the bat out there trying to do its job and find its purpose in life. Dang. Dang. If I had... Oh, you know what? I didn't even try run. Ooh! He hit me on my way out. That was rude. Disrespectful. Alright. Let's see if maybe there's something here that we are missing, perhaps? Mayhaps? I don't think we can go anywhere else over here. Let's double check. Oh no, the enemies are back. Nope, we're going this way. Absolutely not. We're going forward. The spicier cousin of the chocobos. Yes, the spicy chocobo. Isn't it cute? I would often run from battles, especially in Pokemon, and I just wasn't good at Pokemon. Then again, I really didn't get to play when I was younger. I would only play when my friends had it, because I wasn't allowed. Right? Spicier. That's a chocobo. The bat is a paid actor. And Calamity is a person fighting in the haunted house. Wait, Cole, I gotta say nice things about you. Not 300. Wait, do bats really have like 300 children? That's a lot of kids. Ooh. You got places names. The Meadow. I saw another box around here. I'm gonna find that first. I want that. Give me the box. I saw it. I want the box. Dang it, I think I have to fight the guy. I don't know that much about that. I do! I listen, I'm sorry. Not bad child support. Listen, that does have to be a lot. Do you see that up there? I'm trying to get up there. Oh, I think I have to fight this guy first. I don't want to fight the guy. Is there any other way? Anything else? Anything else? Nope. Looks like... Oh! Nope. No. It was a trick. A dirty, dirty trick. Alright, let's fight the guy. Whew! Oh, there's 4 of them? No! Why are there 4 of them? No, die. No, don't touch me. Ooh! Ooh, I want turn-based battle back, please. Ooh. 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 It's more so fish or insects back to mammals and have litters. Oh. So they'd have about the same amount of pups in a lifetime as your average cat or dog. Interesting. I never thought of it that way. But yeah, they're mammals, so it makes sense. Aw, bats. I like real-life bats. Cats that murder me in video games, not so much. Ooh. Ooh. Alright, one more. Please don't come this way. Oh, I'm just gonna cry. I was just about to start crying. Just then. Ooh, we got a chest? Oh, whoa! We're in a village! Oh, look at this! Oh, listen to the music change. Oh! You got an NPC. At last, someone to talk to, or not. Sorry, I don't speak to children. Okay. Alrighty then. No, the village music. No, I was saying I like it. What are you doing here? Children should go to bed. I mean, you're not wrong. If you're not a nice boy, the evil Kefka's ghost will come and eat you. Why do people say these things to children? Not sorry, I don't speak to bat murderers. Wow. 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 They are mean. People think it's okay to be like, you better be good or some evil creature is going to eat you. That's terrifying. Why would you say that to a child? Sorry, I don't speak to children. I'm gonna go then. I can't go into any buildings. Hello, are you a child too? Adults are not funny. They always complain about us children. If only I could eat the growth seed, I would no longer be a child. I feel like that's a quest hint. Not the mayor. The mayor of bats. Not, have you seen my pet bats? Ella, no. This bat has truly turned the entire stream against me. I brought turmoil to the village. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Truly. Oh, I can now enter houses. You can now freely invade people's privacy. Great. I always wondered why there wasn't like a knocking option. I don't know if y'all seen those TikToks recently, like about villagers, like the point of view of villagers in video games. It's pretty funny. It's pretty great. Is this specifically in Zelda? Oh, I got an innkeeper! Hello! You look tired. What about resting in our cozy inn? It'll only cost you 10 gliss. Let's go. Good night. Save your game? Yeah! Thank you. Most likely done by a child. Child bat slayer. Oh no. Where's the seed? I need a seed apparently. What's in here? Do you have a seed that makes me an adult? What's this? Oh, a shopkeeper! You can always spend your bliss with that guy. Sorry, the National Sword Association does not allow us to sell weapons to children. Yet. Yet. Not yet. Maybe eventually. Currently, cannot sell weapons to children. A no combat game? I'll take 5. The guards. Y'all are really making a whole backstory for this bat. The game is actually about the bat. Oh no. That's too funny. Wait, the door is locked. Maybe there's something in there. Ooh. I would like to know what's in there. Into the well. Be careful. It's very dark down there. Let's go. You got secret tunnel. You got secret place. I don't know what I'm doing down here, game. You told me to, sort of. Hopefully the seed of being an adult is in here. I got the card worm. He was preparing for a birthday. Right, you just go down there and get stuck. and you have to restart the whole game. That would be tragic. Wait, is this it? You have found a strange seed. Do you want to eat it? Sounds legit. Hey, Bonnie. Hey, we're an adult. What's with all the kids in video games anyway? Excellent question. Excellent question. Secret tunnel. I heard a lot of strange sounds coming out of the North Caves. Guess we're gonna have to go there next. A girl has visited us earlier. Is she a friend of yours? I don't have friends. I'm a loner in this world. I think I'm an adult now. I just kind of look taller, but I guess that's an adult. I don't know. I can't believe it was a rare candy from Pokemon. Welcome to the adventurer's shop. Please spend all your money here. Thank you. I would definitely like a better sword. I don't have a whole lot of gliss. Not Phoenix down. Yes. Armor sounds nice too, though. Soup and French bread. Honestly? Yeah. Yeah. I'm convinced that we're just a tall child. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe it just makes you taller so everyone assumes you're an adult. Maybe that's it. Soup does sound so good right now. The girl is Rogue the Bat, here to avenge her fallen rich husband, the mayor. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna buy a potion for now. So, Bonnie, the entire chat has turned against me because I killed this bat that honestly killed me first. To be fair, maybe start the whole game over again. To be fair, so now this bat is actually the main character, and has a backstory, and just, no, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. The bat was not trying to leave, it was trying to attack me! I mean, I did invade its home. Sort of. How do you know that wasn't my home too? Maybe I just live in the forest. You don't know. You don't know. You know, I did say fight me and run away. I did. That happened. Oh no. Bats are ugly. Oh no, so I don't blame you. I like real life bats. This one was mean. But no adventurers ever come back to tell us. This particular bat was not friendly. It was not nice. The medium is the message. Okay. I found a book, apparently. I found a potion! I just walk into people's houses and find potions. Oh, that's where the ghost is. Wait, don't I have to find like a friend or something? There are quite strong monsters in the caves ahead. We won't let you pass with your current equipment. Oh, I need better equipment. That makes sense. I probably need more money. So now y'all lie. I mean, if a bat decided to land on my head, I don't think I'd be too happy about that. But like bats from a distance, they're fine. They're fine. Some bats are not cute. Many are cute, but some are bats only a mother can love. Oh no. That's true. There are some bats that look terrifying. I think I have to go back and get more money because there was that whole area I didn't get to yet, but I don't have any bombs. The person wasn't selling bombs, were they? Oh, I don't think so. I don't remember them selling bombs. Let's go check. This is definitely a time for a Titanic flute. This would be a good time for a Titanic flute. That is true. Wait, is this it? Yes, this is it. I don't remember there being bombs. No, there are no bombs. I should probably at least get a better sword. Yay! Okay. They don't even have bombs for me to steal, and also, I wouldn't steal bombs! Well, I ate it. Sucks to suck. Oh, okay. Thank you, Rosie. Not my heart will go on for the bat. Oh no. Turn the volume down on oh, Titanic? I probably need to. My bad, y'all. My bad. Adults are not funny. So true, bestie. That kid knows what's up. He speaks truths. Oh. I really was like F them kids. I'm an adult now. Ooh, look at me. I'm strong now. Get the spicy chocobo. Let's go. Alright, let's go back here and see if there's anything I can do. I feel like I needed bombs, but I don't have any. Yeah, I don't have any bombs. Oh, no. Woo! Don't touch me. Don't touch me, please. No, thank you. Okay, this still says try the path to the east, but there's nothing I can do. Oh, the dimensional stone. Right. I need to get out of 2D to use that one. No. Bad. There we go. Ooh, no. Whew. We're good. I don't know why y'all were so worried. We're fine. Everything's okay. I don't know why y'all were panicking. I got this. I want this chest. Yeah, do what you gotta do, Rosie. Listen, that first one hurt me. Oh wow, not another. Listen, I just don't want to die. I'm trying to not die. I think I do have to keep going that way, but I need more money. Ooh, no. Ooh. Okay, we're good. Hey, Blaxia, how's it going? Yeah, I think I do have to keep going that way. Have you tried holding hands with the bat instead of holding swords? I'm sorry, they handed me a sword first, and then they presented a bat to me. My first thought wasn't, this bat is friendly, let me try holding hands with it. Got 2 days off of work in a row. Let's go. That sounds so nice. That sounds so nice. The octopi would kill me too. Do y'all not know about self-preservation? It's self-preservation. I'm just trying to stay alive in these evil land streets. Oh my gosh. Okay, attack. They will punch you to punch you. That's It's true. That's true. They're just rude for no reason. Just all kinds of disrespectful. I'm trying to find, like, is there like another forest I can maybe go into? Maybe? It's, oh heck, it scares me too. Like every time. But it does that in like other games like that too. Like Pokemon will scare me sometimes. I just started playing Pokemon for the first time this year. I would lose. No, I would 100% lose. Court case, chat versus Calamity for bat murder. I would lose. Y'all are teaming up on this bat. Y'all are really just standing behind this bat. I thought, you know, maybe, no, I guess, I don't know. You're like, forget Calamity. Forget them. I watched enough court-related K-dramas. I'll be the lawyer. Sold. It's you, Ella. You're the lawyer. You know what happens if you give me the chaos option? Right? They're like, did you know a fight is starting? Thank you. Just wanted you to be aware. I want to be the audience for the court case. Oh my gosh. I'm going through the stages of grief. I'm at acceptance. I'll be co-counsel. My mother has been watching Law and Order since I was an embryo. Just in the womb, sitting there here on Law and Order. Would love to see it. Can I go now? Ugh. Okay, I need more equipment. Fine. Oh wait, yeah. Oh, you know, that's good too. Your mom's got a whole law degree. You're like, but but you've seen K-dramas. Law K-dramas. That's, you know, that's... Okay, now I'm equipped. I kind of want to buy this Phoenix down. Oh, I can't. Rude. In my defense, she doesn't use it. I mean, that's fair. Good for her for getting a law degree, though. Heck yeah. Let's see. I'm here for the references. I'll be careful. I promise. As careful as I can be. Are we in the overworld? Heck yes. What is this? What is this? Forced fight. Oh. Oh no, that person's on the ground. I heard someone calling for help. What are we? Are they bears with flowers growing out their heads? Looks like she got attacked by these monsters. Can we like give her a potion? Can we like... Well, we can't give her a potion. I guess we just gotta attack. Not my... How come my lawyer is a potato? Has the potato seen any law K-dramas? Any court K-dramas? What is this potato's credentials? I need to know. One of us should defend Calamity. It won't be me. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Then here's a treasure. Get dunked on. We really did. Woo. Okay, they're up. Thank you for saving me from those monsters. I need the crystal in the cave to save my hometown. Will you help me? Now. Oh, we can't even say no. You got forced choice. Looks like the scenario is lacking proper branching here. By the way, my name is... Oh. We gotta name them. Your name is... Hey. Not Leroy Jenkins. There are so many things we have named Leroy Jenkins. We'll do Amara. I like Amara. That is cute. Hello. There we go. I always thought it was weird you could name the characters. I just use the default names. Amara! That's very cute. Amara has joined the team! We got a healer. We got a healer. What? Looks clearly just named them Chat. Dang. I would never hurt Chat. Never. Doesn't want me to be great. What did I do this time? I guess I do it to feel more personalized. Yeah, but I'm like, I'm playing this game. You tell me what their names are. Like, I'm just here. What's their name? I'm just part of this. Is there anything over here? Oh! Spicy chocobo. Y'all would really just leave me if y'all were the healer. Chat Noir. I would name my kid Amara, like, regardless of gender. I mean, I feel like, yeah, Amara's just a solid name. I like that a lot. Amara means grace. Oh, so it's perfect for a healer. You're so right. I love that. Like, chat, why do you keep healing my enemies? Chat, please. Oh, hello. I keep forgetting. My characters just kind of phase out of your body sometimes in games. Oh gosh. Anyway, she really just jump scared everyone. She just slid on out. We need to find the crystal. Okay, Amara. Okay, hold on. Its power can change your perception of the world. And with it, you can fight the evil that threatens my village. Me? Wait, since when was I fighting this evil? I thought Hugh needed the crystal so Hugh could save your village. I have my own agenda. I don't know what it is, but I never signed up for this. Why am I? Right? What is the we? What? Chat rhymes with bat. Naturally allies. Dang. By the way, I just noticed that I forgot to ask your name. I forget that they named him Clink. I'm crying. Oh, right, I'm trying to start a farm. I'm over here trying to start a farm. I'm just trying to play some.
With Alive multivitamins by nature's way, you won't be defined by time. You'll own every minute of it. Discover how you can age vibrantly with Alive.
Introducing the most rugged Honda vehicles yet. Rise to the challenge with the Honda Pilot, CR-V, and all-new Passport Trail Sport.
People think unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So, give us the ambitious new startup, the failed small business.
All of your dependents and dependents.
Yes, give us your surprising inheritance. Your odd injuries, too. Even your semi-nomadic life in a van. An interesting life can mean an even greater refund. You do your thing. We've got your taxes.
Name him Ahmad. I like Ahmad. Hello. There we go. A. It's A-M-A-H-D. Okay. Oh. Pizza, thank you so much for gifting us sub to Black Card members. I super appreciate that. Welcome to the crew. Not sponsored by ads. Oh, Amara and Ahmad are twin names. That's perfect. That's perfect. I love that. I love that. Aww, Ahmad and Amara. Ooh, Yenwa, thank you so much for the hydrate. So that hydrate is for everybody, y'all. The hydrate is for everyone. This is one of the channel points that I have are also connected with an app called Allopun, and they are a self-care app. Hashtag sponsored, but I did just want to like talk about them because that's why I say everyone drinks water, because it helps us all do some self-care. So let's take some water. Let's just have a little bit of hydration. Whatever you have near you works too, but I suggest having a side of water with whatever you have. So let's have some water. Ella, you really act like drinking water is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Oh no. Listen, BCG, if it's sponsored by ads, we need to see some of that ad money. Give them that, run them their money. It's so plain. Oh no. Sparkling water. I mean, yeah, that's still water. It's fine. You got cave monsters. Oh no. Oh. Oh, did you see how my sword moves now? Water doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste like anything. How can it taste bad? How can it taste bad? Oh my gosh. Ooh, where Fangirl gave you the mom glare. That means you have to drink water. Oh, hello. Are these snakes? Oh, thank you for gifting a sub to Sim Pizza. You really think water tastes bad? They do look kind of shy. Like, I feel kind of bad for them. How come I keep missing? Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Oh wait, we can do magic, I forgot. We need to see some of her magic. They look nasty. Science says water isn't everything. I will drink this juice. You know what? OG, you're not wrong. You're really not wrong. Oh, I can just heal. I guess attack then. Not all water tastes good. That is fair. That is fair. There was something up with the sound. There's something up with Dasani. Wow. Oh, hold on. I was looking at something real quick. Give me just a second. So I got a few more minutes, right? Just a couple more minutes, I believe. Just 5 more minutes. If I am not mistaken.
All right. We should be live. Cool, cool, cool. We're up. Oh my gosh. Yay. Welcome to the first panel, everybody, of the Black Card Gala. Woo! Exciting, fun. We're going to start off our first panel today with talking about getting into game dev. And I have two lovely people here with me. So if you guys would like to go share who you are really quick with the people who are listening and watching, Dawn, you can start us off.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you to Sel for hosting. I'm Dawn. I'm based in the UK. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a junior level designer at Mediatonic, and as of January 2021, working on Fall Guys. This is my first job in the games industry, which is very exciting. Before getting into the industry, I worked in marketing. I spent almost a year on a sales floor for a magazine, and I spent the past 5.5 years doing marketing for museums and galleries before making a career change. So today I hope to share some tips and advice if anyone else is also looking to make a career change into game dev.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Hi, I am Karen Williams. She, her. I am based in Georgia, United States. My day job, I work at a casino gaming company called Eclipse Gaming Systems, and I kind of moonlight with my own studio called Hiccup Interactive, where I work on my own projects. I've been doing game dev for several years. Like, I didn't turn towards coding or programming or anything like that until I got into college. So it's been a crazy wild journey, but I've been loving it every step of the way.
All right, thank you guys so much. Again, I'm so excited to have you guys. This is going to be a fun time. I'm looking so much forward to it. So first, let's ask the big question. Like, what got you into game dev? Like, what made you decide that yes, I now want to be in game development. This is a thing that I want to try, or this is my thing that I'm now passionate about.
Shall I kick off?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. So I studied English with creative writing at uni, and then went into marketing because my degree kind of lent itself to that work. It was a very easy match up. I was looking for a job, would have taken anything. Um, and then when the pandemic started, I took stock of my career for the first time properly. And I was good at marketing, but I didn't love it. I did love video games, and it was something I wanted to do for a while, but didn't know how because my educational background and work experience are very different. And the pandemic happened. I was like, everything is up in the air. I'm going to give it a shot. And in January last year, I was just scrolling through Twitter and saw Code Coven had tweeted about their Into Game Making course, and they were talking about scholarship they had for it. And I thought, I'm gonna give it a try. And I almost didn't. The imposter syndrome almost got the best of me. And I did, apply, and I'm very glad that I did. I was very fortunate and got a place on the course. And it was a totally transformative experience and brought me into game dev. I learned how to make games for the very first time on that course. I used Unity, I learned programming in C#, I learned source control, did my first group project, and I enjoyed it so much. It was always a highlight of the week whenever we had any of those classes. And I was working full time whilst doing that. And at the end of the day, I would log off and I would open up Unity and start making games. And I loved it so much. It was so much fun and challenging in a good way. Finding solutions, and it just completely confirms that I wanted to be a game developer. So when that course ended, I just kind of kept looking for opportunities and to build my skills so I could eventually get my first job.
That's amazing. Truly amazing. Wow. That is really cool. That is really cool. Hiccup, would you like to also tell us about your start?
Yes. So, my start's a little wacky. I actually wanted to be a doctor since I was very young. I think when I was 3, I just had a little set, and from there on, I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. And all through schooling, I was planning on going into pediatrics and going the whole like med route. But the summer just before I was planning on going to college, nerdy friend of mine that's been like doing computers all his life. He showed me Unity, and he kind of just like, oh, I'm working on this project. Do you kind of want to fool around in this thing? And I worked around in it, and I fell in love with the whole concept. And it just kind of like took off from there. I started looking into stuff, and like I've played games my entire life, but I never considered the duties that went into like making it and fleshing it out, and me kind of already having like an analytical side to me, and me kind of like wanting to do things that I feel like are helpful to people and things along those lines. It kind of like still aligned with how I wanted to study and wanted to do things, but it also kind of let me keep my artistic side that I kind of like accepted was going to die if I went into the medical field. But I was like, hey, I can still do the things that like I'm naturally like I have a good aptitude towards, but like still do these things that like I enjoy, that are creative and joyful, and like that are a very core section of my being. And I kind of started studying it from there, and making my first games were wild, and I just like realized that like I could combine these different parts of like my character and my personality, and still help people with like designing games that I feel like are like educational or that pass on experiences, and I can still be helpful and like kind of side contribute to things that are helpful towards children or people alike, but like, do this thing that I thought was just like a fun hobby for me, or like a side thing. And I'm, excited studying it and finding other people that thrive in this creatively chaotic field that I love so much.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. Now, one thing I'm going to pivot off the questions a little bit, but one question that I did want to ask is that you both actually came from Code Coven, correct? So I got the recommendation to teach to the both of you straight from Code Coven, who highly recommended you both. For those who don't know of Code Coven, I'm dropping a link both in Discord and in Twitch chat, in the BCM Twitch chat. And you can learn more about Code Coven there. That is for marginalized game devs. So, what led you guys to Code Coven?
It was pure chance for me. I follow a community called Pock and Play on Twitter. And they retweeted Coda Coven's tweet about their intro to game making course, and it was a complete fluke that I happened to see it. Um, and I'm so glad that I did. Um, they've been so supportive from the very beginning, from spending lots of time helping me learn learning my way around the engine, um, and provide a great network. I've made a fantastic group of friends through Code Coven who I still speak to, and they've fostered such a kind and safe community as well. I always enjoy engaging with. They're always uplifting their alumni, whether it's connecting us with this speaking opportunity, like the game jams that they host. They've done such a fantastic job. They're helping me develop professionally and personally. And it's just such a fantastic effort, trying to help diversify the industry. I think they're doing a fantastic job of it.
Yeah, that is definitely amazing. And what about you, Hiccup? How did you come across Code Coven?
So I'm in a lot of the game dev circles in the Atlanta area, and the indie cluster oftentimes like also touts a lot of things in relation to like diversity and like spreading like the joy of game development to all those around and so on. And they had actually suggested that I apply for the Elevate program, and I ended up getting in, and like my team is very small, and we just kind of were like, oh, I hope that we can like do something good enough. And it was an amazing experience, not only for like the amazing mentors and information, but also just like confidence in and of itself of like our project seeming cool in the same stance of like all these other projects that we saw there. And it was like, oh, like these people are doing amazing things, and we're here too, and it's like we're doing something amazing. And it was just like an amazing experience. And like people from Code Coven directly still reach out There's the other alumni that participate that are just so supportive. And from the people that I met as like that mentors that participated, like I still meet with several of them regularly. And I feel like, I don't know, it solidified a lot of the like the confidence and things that we needed that we didn't realize that like we were, doing something cool and doing something well, and we're only growing and getting better, and I'm still like benefiting just from like the relationship that I had from that the one program that I participated in. Like it's paid off so much tenfold.
Yeah, definitely. I hard agree with all of that actually as well. I found Code Coven about almost 2 years ago, and I started off with being a mentor actually. And that's how I started, and I was the mentor for them twice, and that's actually how I met one of our first streamers, Calamity. It's surprisingly enough, I was their mentor for about 3 months last year. Yeah, last year. So great, amazing work that Code Coven does. Again, everyone, please check out Code Coven and all the things that they do. They are an amazing bunch of people for marginalized folk who are trying to get into game dev or already in game dev that just want to continue to improve themselves or just meet other peers like themselves. But either way, let's talk a little bit more about some of the jobs that you guys are currently doing. So, Dawn, you mentioned that currently right now you work on Fall Guys. That's actually a
Yeah,
surprise to me. I did
yeah,
not know that you work on Fall Guys.
yeah. It's 3 weeks now. I just joined in the middle of January. It's so cool. I remember playing that game when it came out in 2020, and it feels so surreal to be working on it. Yeah, it's really cool.
That is completely awesome. And the work that you're doing right now, it is, first of all, let me say, like, congratulations. You just said it's recent, so congratulations on that
Thank
hire.
you.
That's awesome. It's always great to hear people like ourselves are getting out there, being put out there, and being put on these big mainstream games that are being played. So that again, congratulations. So if you are able, I don't want you to cross any boundaries at work, but like, what is it like? What is the experience like for you to be able to do what you do in that kind of setting?
It's been fantastic. I've had the best start I could have hoped for. Everyone has been incredibly supportive and helpful. I'm still kind of, I've never worked in a professional environment before. I've only ever worked on small games. It's always that adjustment of working on something on a bigger scale. I've had so much support, and I feel very included, and it's a wonderful group of people. Um, and um, so I was trying to think of the best way. It's still, it's early days, and I'm still very excited about um, everything that's upcoming.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. And Karen, please, I would love to know more what it is that you're doing. I really I like the things that you were saying and talking about. First of all, the transition from like I want to be a doctor to now game dev. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I want to know a little bit more about that. Like I am interested. I'm so interested in knowing more about that transitional phase for you.
All right. So, like as far as it goes, it kind of just like was me kind of discovering what about myself that I enjoy and also feel like I have like a really good aptitude towards. And things like as far as it goes with my value system and stuff along those lines, like me wanting to go into pediatrics and things along the lines because I feel like, children are the future, they're super important, they deserve to be protected and so on and so forth. And like I have a high interest with like medicine and stuff along those lines and just like, came from like less than fortunate backgrounds and stuff like that and like wanting to also have the financial security as well as feel like doing something that is like helpful. And it's kind of just been essentially kind of like my blinders for most of my life and me kind of like slowly filling into my own after I graduated. It kind of just also made me realize the other sacrifices that would come with that. And I I'm kind of a marshmallow on the inside, and I know that with becoming a doctor, you kind of have to harden yourself in order to be able to get through all the things. And I kind of, like, mourned the marshmallow that would, like, eventually kind of, like, harden, and, game development, I realized that I could still do the things that I feel like are helpful and wonderful, and, like, pursue these ideas of, like, helping people with empathy and understanding things further. And, like, my personal projects a lot of times focus on, education, but in a more fun, dynamic way that's always ensured to, like, incorporate people into, like, starting something new and sticking with it because it's fun, and not sticking with it because they just think that it's important to learn it. Like, um, whenever that I got into the game industry, I Atlanta's very competitive, and there's, like, a lot of different, companies out here, and surprisingly, there's a lot of, like, casino companies, and me being very green, it was, like, a good start for me. That was, like, I was able to kind of, like, cut my teeth with some of that. But, with casino games, like, the, tools and everything that I learned still were very applicable for the things that I do in my outside stuff. So I started Hiccup Interactive. It's my LLC for, like, all my little things that I was doing, and I still want to pursue those outlets until I can find, like, a company that I feel like also has similar things, or perhaps I get enough funding to do things myself. But I'm very, like, passionate with, like, making things that positively contribute to the rest of society and things along those lines. And me having to learn the skills that I need to learn is just, like, you know, part of what goes along with it. So my path is a little unbeaten and a little chaotic and a little unexpected, but I see where I want to go, and I'm gonna head there full steam.
Yeah, and also congratulations on starting your own LLC. Those are never easy to do. From someone who, first of all, I mean, I relate when it comes to starting up like your own communities, your own company. I mean, look at this. It's a wild time. But honestly, I just see you gearing and heading towards a whole bunch of success, honestly. It looks like you
Oh,
have an amazing head on your shoulders who's going towards a lot of great and amazing things. So I really do see you
thank
getting to where
you.
it is that you want to be,
I
honestly.
wear so many hats.
Oh yeah, you will. That's game dev for you. If there's one thing y'all gonna do is that you're gonna wear more than one hat that you signed up for.
So many hats.
But honestly, you know what? That is a great transitional point. It's talking about how you wear so many hats and what are some of the difficulties that actually may come with it. It's never necessarily an easy process. So, what are some things for you as individuals, or just like in general, that you may have ran into or still kind of running into when you're in your current positions as game developers? And either can start. It doesn't matter who.
Oh, sure. So an issue that I ran into a lot when I was learning to make games was overcommitting, um, and taking on too much. I was really keen to do as much as possible, to kind of like boost my portfolio, have things to add to my CV. But sometimes I certainly did take on too much at any one point, and it it can lead to burnout, and it can kind of dull things that you enjoy. Even making games, it can really stress you out. It can leave you with no energy. Um, and like you mentioned, wearing lots of hats. You can be on a game project and you kind of jumping between doing programming and doing game design and doing writing. Um, and it can be a lot, and it can take a toll on you. And there were many times when I saw like job vacancies and I just didn't have anything in me to even write the application. I was in this it's a kind of a very bit of a kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. So I was looking for my first job and trying to build a resume that I could use to get that first job. But I was also taking on too much, and that was hurting my ability sometimes to apply for vacancies. I think that was definitely something that I had to learn how to handle. Was I had to take stock of what I've committed to already and making sure that I have the resources and like the emotional bandwidth and the time to actually commit to that, instead of taking on too much and disappointing other people by not delivering things on time or to the best of my ability, or just, wearing myself out.
Definitely. Those are honestly some of the hard truths.
Mm.
Definitely some of the hard truths of game dev. And what about you, Karen? Can you relate? Is there anything else you want to add on to that?
Definitely. Like she 100% everything that she said. And like another thing that kind of like relates and connects is the comparing yourself like indirectly, like not only in the sense of say other people within your class, other people within your industry, stuff like that, like feeling feeling different or feeling like maybe I do or don't fit in. Like one of the things that I had with essentially confidence issues was that I felt like I started late with the tech thing. Because I felt like a lot of other people in my class, like say my nerdy friend from high school is just like, oh, they've been working with computers and doing these things for like their entire time. And I just jumped on a bandwagon. And now I feel like I haven't done enough. I haven't learned enough. And technology is such a fast growing, like rapid thing. And seeing other people that even have the same title is like, oh, they're also an indie and they do something so amazing. And the feeling to like compare yourself to the others around and finding your way to like secure your confidence and feel like you're making progress can be very difficult, especially if you're wearing so many hats that like your skill set is growing in just a plethora of ways, but in this one little field I'm going to fixate and be self-conscious about and not acknowledge that like I'm doing so much, and the burnout comes in, or it feels like I'm in quicksand and I'm not getting very far. But like I something that helped a lot was just realizing how supportive and how broad that the community is, and that there's these pockets of people that are just like so purely supportive and encouraging and things along those lines that kind of like make you point out and realize that you're doing great and that you're just as cool and that you're just as capable in the work that you're doing. Is growing you further. So like fighting the not only the intensity of all the work and like keeping your focus and keeping passion about it, but also feeling like you're growing yourself as an individual and, keeping both of those things going forward.
Yeah, definitely. But you guys are doing phenomenal jobs for where you are, despite it all. Like, truly, despite it all, you guys have been doing such great work. And everything that you're doing is being noticed, it's being acknowledged. Everyone is extremely proud of you. And yeah, it can be tough. It can definitely be tough. And then, especially as like Black individuals as well, like that's something that we also keep, like, it's always lingering in the back of your mind, like, regardless of like people just being like, oh, like, we don't care, it doesn't matter. For us, it's always something that is still just being like, but it's still, it can still happen regardless. But absolutely 110% agree with that. But again, despite all the struggles and all the hard things that's been happening, y'all out here and you haven't stopped yet. And you know what? That says a lot. That says so much. But I guess now going into my next question with all of that is, what kind of advice or what kind of suggestion would you give to those who are listening and watching right now, when it comes to getting started into game dev? You can get as detailed as you want. You can pinpoint list things if you like. What is something for no matter what age they're at? It can be, oh, they started off in a different profession, but now they want to switch over, or oh, they're still young and they're about to graduate high school and they're thinking about going into game dev. What is some general advice that you would think about giving?
Oh, sure. I actually prepared a list actually. So I would suggest engaging with online communities for game devs. It's, with the pandemic and various restrictions, being online is always a good alternative. And also if you're living in an area that doesn't have like a game development hub, it's a great way to connect with developers. These communities offer great support systems. You can meet and talk to lots of great people and build friendships. You can ask members of the communities about their roles and the studios that they work for, which is really helpful if you're still figuring out what field of development you want to go into. And the communities are always, really keen to help. people improve their careers or get into the industry. And they share opportunities all the time, whether it's mentorships, talks, workshops, internships, jobs. They also host their own game jams, offer portfolio reviews, invite speakers, and they have dedicated channels for interview advice or job application advice. A few examples are Pock and Play, Code Coven, the IGDA Foundation, Pixels, Glitch, Into Games, Women in Games. I'll drop some links in the chat just in case anyone missed that. So I absolutely recommend doing that. Something else I recommend is having an action plan. I remember feeling really overwhelmed whenever I thought about transitioning into video games because I didn't know where to start. I didn't even know what I didn't know. And an action plan can be a really good compass to help keep you on track for achieving that goal. And you can take meaningful steps, both big and small, towards that first job in games. And the journey will be a lot more manageable if you break it down into small, achievable goals, much like eating a meal one bite at a time instead of all in one go. And it can be really rewarding to check those actions off your plan. You can see your growth and development in real time in black and white. And in no time at all, you'll be able to look back and see all the things that you've achieved. And it's also very useful to have a written record of what you've learned and what you've done. So you can refer to that in job applications and in interviews. Because it can be really easy to forget, what you've done and take for granted some of the skills and experiences that you have. I just used Trello for mine, had a few columns, and I would move things over to being as in progress or as complete. You can use a spreadsheet or a Word doc, whatever you feel comfortable using. And if you're unsure of what to populate in your action plan, that's no problem. I'd suggest kind of identifying your skill gap, so just finding out what it is you need or should learn for the job that you're aiming for. I would suggest reviewing job descriptions for roles that you're interested in, even if you aren't ready to apply for them. Some sites you can look at include Grackle, Work with Indies, Remote Game Jobs, Hitmarker, and you'll spot some common threads between the job postings, even between different studios. So just keep an eye out for qualifications, software, languages, programming or like spoken languages, game engines, and see what repeatedly comes from job descriptions. And that will give you a good idea of the things that you want to have like on your resume, in your portfolio when you apply for those jobs eventually. So make a list of things that you can do, which is really good for confidence because it can be really dispiriting sometimes looking at a job description and being like, I don't know any of this. So do make a note of the things that you can do. That's a really nice starting point. And then make a list of the things that you can't do, or maybe you need a little bit more experience in. And that can be the basis for your action plan. And let's drop everything in there. Everything from every mentorship application to every tutorial that you want to take, any prototypes that you want to make in an engine, just put everything in there. And just keep an eye on it every day, every couple of days, have a look at it and see, I've got a spare evening, what can I learn today? What can I do today, to help push me towards that goal? And another thing I'd recommend are game jams. They are amazing ways to improve your game making skills. It's a low stakes space where you can learn something new. So if you're not sure if you want to do narrative design or animation or sound design, you can try it in a game jam. You can meet lots of great new people through jams, and the games make really great additions for your portfolio. I know sometimes you can look at a junior level posting and it says, have one ship's title to your name, which most people just aren't going to have unless maybe an internship when you were studying. But if you do game jams, you will have a list of game projects that you can point to during your interviews. It showcases your skills, technical skills, and also your soft skills, because you need teamwork and organisation and communication in a game jam as well. And jams kind of show your enthusiasm and passion for making games, because you can do anything in your spare time. But if you're using it to make games, it shows that you really care a lot about game dev. We wouldn't do that if you didn't care about it. So if you're ever looking for a jam to take part in, I recommend looking at ix.io. They have a dedicated jam page on there with a list of probably hundreds, maybe even 1,000+ jams that are being hosted throughout the year. Take a look. A jam can last anywhere from a day to a month plus. So just find something that suits your timetable and have fun with it.
Right, love that advice. Definitely good. Karen, do you have anything that you would like to also add and share on?
Yes. So I would probably say the biggest thing that comes with people that are even like passively interested in getting into games from the most passionate one is like starting and like keeping up with it. Um and I like me personally, I'm addicted to procrastination. I don't mean to, but it's just what happens sometimes. And especially with like kind of like juggling a bunch of different things, I've kind of like had to learn how to do certain things to either trick me not to give up because I feel like I've reached a dead end, or to reinvigorate my passion for it, because when I'm feeling passionate, I can just like push through like 18 hours straight of working on it and the time goes by. Like so kind of like mini accountability for you to keep making baby steps. And each baby step is like so intrinsically important for you getting to where that you want to go. A lot of times with people, they have like a whole full fleshed out game idea. And like we've mentioned several times before, and like biting off more than you can chew and wanting to be successful whenever that, your skills are early in their development. So you've got to remember that you're still growing, that you're still working up to these things, and finding ways to keep you on that path of growth and not feeling like you're plateauing or you're stuck or you're not successful. So, like, definitely those communities make a huge impact to make sure that you still feel like you're moving places, you're still interacting with people, that you still have things that you're still doing. Something that I personally started whenever that quarantine hit and everybody stuck inside and working remotely became a thing, and I'm not seeing as many people, and the things that I used to do that would kind of keep me active was like I used to go to game events. I'd converse and make friends with people that were doing similar things that I was doing, and wanting to spend time with them encouraged me to keep working on my stuff. But with quarantine kind of like caused throwing a bit of a wrench in that, I actually started streaming my development. And the whole point of the stream wasn't to, become a famous streamer. It was just so I'd sit down and have a specific time to like work and think about my game. And anything that I did was still counted towards a baby step. And with even me just sitting down and then goofing off, maybe with like talking with my friends in a chat or something along those lines, I still sat down and thought about my game. I still did 2 or 3 lines of code. I still made progress towards it. And also having like the, recorded proof of you working on it is also a great thing that demonstrates that you are dedicated to it and that you're actively doing it and working on it, even if it is your like side indie project that may not appear somewhere big. So keeping that constant thread of you going through and finding and learning what keeps you passionate about it and reinvigorating yourself with like hitting these smaller milestones as you go through. Definitely game jams, the community, all those help keep you connected with the environment and you pushing closer and closer towards like fully fulfilling your goals. Like Hiccup Interactive didn't start off as a LLC. It was just my handle for my company. I mean, I'm sorry, my handle for my portfolio. And I just wanted I made like a fun, cute name so that this was something that like, oh, I'm doing a little thing, and I do my game jams. I tried to do art. I tried to do this, and this was just like a free website that I just threw all the things under, and like using that as like how I saw it as building up this resume, building up this thing, and this was a point that I could talk about when it came to employers or introducing myself to someone new, and gave me outside things of like, oh, maybe I should make a business card, and just putting my name on it isn't cool enough. If I put a cool handle and a cute picture, maybe that makes me more excited about it, and it feels less like homework and more like further expressing myself. So these things that shaping it and like making these goals into something that you're enjoying and not just homework or a new job or something like that can carry you through to the point to where you get to where you're trying to be, where you see, oh, I can make this whole entire game and do all these things. So it's in a way of tricking yourself to having fun along the way, to develop further, to get that job. And then by the time that you look around, you're where you were hoping for, like all those times before, and you've developed and you have a community and you have support and you have all these unexpected things that came along that weren't in consideration whenever that you were first like, oh hey, I want to be a game dev. It's I want to be a more fulfilled version of myself. And my more fulfilled version is like this super cool developer and designer and all these other things. And these are the fun things that I've done along the way that you can smile and look back on and keep you moving forward whenever crunch comes along, whenever you get like writer's block or code block or whatever the case may be. Like there's ways that you can keep pushing yourself forward and encourage that you're building an environment that keeps pushing you forward, even if for some reason or another you lose a little steam. So keep those things around you that keep throwing coal down into your furnace. So that's kind of like, I feel like the biggest thing that's helped me get to where I was when I made such a huge pivot that I wasn't expecting to do. And it was just a risk. And now it's a lifestyle, and it's exciting and it's fun and it's chaotic, and I scream about it, but they're happy screams.
Absolutely feel that. Absolutely. All right, so we're basically hitting the wall with our questions now at this point. You guys have sped through them so quickly in such a great way, but so much valuable and such important advice. I guess now we can start asking people if they have any questions. If they do, either you can put them into the Twitch chat or into the Discord chat. I'll be reading them off to Dawn and Karen as we go. But Dawn, Karen, is there anything that you guys would like to share with us? Like anything that you're currently working on, anything that you just want to shout out? Absolutely feel free to share with us.
I don't have any work to share, but I will drop my Twitter handle in the chat just in case anyone wants to ask me any questions. Feel free.
All right, all right.
So I will share my social media stuff as well. But the big thing that I've been focusing on for the past couple years is Urchins and Ink. Urchins and Ink is a 2D twin shooter that aims to teach basic Japanese comprehension. So you can learn how to read the Japanese characters, both hiragana and katakana, through playing the game. And I designed it with the idea of it being a fun experience first and a learning environment second. So the goal is that you're continuing to play and you stay in the environment because it's fun, instead of like, oh, I have to learn these things. And like, I'm a huge weeb, and I like spent a year in Japan. I would really love if more weebs were properly literate and could pronounce all the things properly. So I'm out here to try to make my fellow weebs all the more educated. And we've got a cute waifu character, Sumi the squid. She's a mer squid and not a mermaid, and she's out here teaching out Japanese. If I can continue working on the project, I would expand to other languages and vocabulary lists and the like. Currently, you can play a demo on itch.io, Urchins and Ink. I am working on a Steam version, and in the future, I'll also put this on mobile. But I'm solo dev with this, so baby steps, trying to secure funding and do whatever that I can while I can. So I'll drop some links around. Urchins and Ink, keep a lookout for us, and swim, cook, and think, don't lose your ink, and get educated.
Right, awesome. So it looks like we did generate a few questions while you guys were sharing. Before I ask those questions, just to let y'all know, if you're not already looking at Twitch, we did get a very proud of you both from the Code Coven official account on Twitch. So they are watching, and they're saying they're very proud of you guys and where you're at. So just know that, again, like I said earlier, you're seen and you're doing your absolute best out here. Um, So, first question, we got a question in the Discord from Momo asking, what is the most tedious part of development for you and how do you get through it?
A loaded question. I would say honestly documentation. I mean, I got ideas. I like talking. I like to do all these things. Like my long-term goal is to be a game designer, but like programming is like how I'm like fleshing my skills out to be a good designer. And like sometimes you just gotta type everything out and you gotta put everything and make it descriptive and it needs to be like something that people can come back to. But I so much prefer just like speaking to people and like having a conversation and all these other things, but like you got to sit down and make diagrams and write out text and like I'm a programmer. I'm not sometimes my spelling be shoddy, but as long as you spell it consistently, like it don't got to be right. So like I just it throws me off, but it's another one of those things where like I'll try to have a fun conversation with someone, write down notes while I'm doing it, and then kind of just like sit down, buckle through and write it out and try to include cute little pictures and stuff on the side just for me to keep going with stuff. And but it's having those conversations with others and bouncing those ideas off that get all of it out instead of it being floating around in my head and in my notebook.
Okay, okay. What about you, Don? What is the most tedious part of development for you and how do you get through it?
I think the most tedious part is, because I'm not the best programmer at all. I think the most tedious part is when you hit an error with some code you've written and not knowing where on earth it's come from, and looking at, it can be a short piece of code like 10 lines long, and I can be looking at it for hours and I'm just like, I've got no idea what's gone wrong here. And then maybe after like 6 hours, you realise there's a typo in there, the most basic typo ever. And that's probably the most tedious part, is combing through code that you think you've done perfectly right and finding those small little errors that can completely throw it off. That's probably the most tedious part, but also the most rewarding once you figure it out. It's like, yes, done it. It's working.
Felt that hard.
Yes.
I've
I do
got
not
war
like coding.
flashbacks with that.
I can code if I need to, but I don't like it. Why? Because I am the typo queen and I will mess it up.
Yes.
All right, so we do have a few more questions. We'll try our very best to get through them, but we do have a little bit of leeway time, so it's okay. So, so I don't miss it, there was a question in the Twitch chat saying, "Thank you for the valuable talk. Are there any specific game dev engines that are good for beginners wanting to get into game dev?" So, what would you guys recommend as a beginner engine getting into game dev? So, either one of you can start us off.
So I started with Unity. I had the benefit of of having a course and having instruction on how to use it, which was certainly helpful. For getting to grips with learning how to use an engine. There's also a lot of free tutorials on YouTube for using Unity if you don't have like a structured course to take. Some ones that I can recommend are Brackeys. There's Black Thorn Prod and Code Monkey. I'll drop some links in the Discord chat for you to look at. So Unity is a good place because there's lots of free resources online that you can use. Unity also has documentation on the website, which can be a bit dense, at times, certain parts of it. But if you're looking to understand anything from like brushes or how to do AI nav mesh, they've got documentation on how to use it. So that's a good starting point. I've also used Game Maker Studio. I used that for a jam last year. They've also got a mode for that doesn't require coding. It's drag and drop code rather than typing out hard code. So if you're not familiar with programming, that's also a great place to start using an engine.
All right, all right. What about you, Karen? What would you suggest as a beginner program?
So this is also another loaded question. Like there's so many different engines that like do different things very well. There's also the whole thing of like, oh, I'm not good at coding and stuff along those lines. And there's also like age differences. Like there's more and more things that are like aimed towards children that are great at like starting off like really, really basic concept, like Alice and Scratch and things along those lines where like having like a 5-year-old learn how to make those little things. But it's also understanding like what are your goals when it comes to development? Like, are you trying to do this purely as a hobby? Are you trying to get a job and stuff like that? And so sometimes it can be a little persnickety when it comes to engines that focus on visual scripting because you can get into um, some habits with those and you can get things together fast and just kind of like understand the logic and not have to worry about the syntax of the code. But a lot of times when it comes into a professional environment, you do need to understand a code. So with any engine, I would definitely say like having time to set aside to learn also the programming skills and stuff along those lines along with it, kind of like supplementing it. A lot of the studios that I know tend to use Unreal or Unity. So as far as like familiarity with the engines themselves, if you're planning on going into a job, look at what engines are commonly used, and which one that you might want to lean towards. Because even between Unity and Unreal, they use different languages, and also like depend on different features within there. I started with Unity. Unity was very welcoming. It was at the whenever I started, it was free. Like it's still free, but it was free. It had a lot of assets. It had a lot of like tutorials. Now other engines are also having just as many and are also available. So I am I do feel like Unity has a little bit ahead of the step with like refining things even further with like the educational services that come with it because so many people have done tutorials. There's also Unity Learn, which is free. There's lots of training things if you want to get certified in those things for like a professional goal. But also with it being around so long, with anything that you think that you might need, you can definitely find a tutorial to get you through that. But my biggest thing with whichever engine that you may lean towards, take time to like understand why you're doing the things. And like, you know, take notes, um, work through things that already exist and then break it down for yourself. But like have fun and um look at the community is your biggest help. Sometimes I say that game development is a team project, even if you're a solo dev, because there's always things online for you to help you out and flesh you out. So, Unity, Code Academy, Unity Learn, Unreal has tons of tutorials. uh, RPG Maker has tons of tutorials, free assets, things along those lines. It's what type of things that you're doing, do a little background for it, and there's support.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you guys both. All right, we have time for about two more questions, and we're gonna take two from the Discord. But Danny D asks, is there a dream game, genre, or type of game that you would like to make? So that's a bit more of a fun question. Probably also a loaded one, but a little bit more of a fun question.
Okay, I'm like busting at the seams. Okay, so I live in Japan for a bit, and I played rhythm games, and I would really love to like work on like an arcade rhythm game. My favorite game out there was like Groove Coaster, and it does a whole bunch of stuff. And there's like I want to do rhythm games. I want to do rhythm games with like or like a bullet curtain game and just like oh the algorithms and the different like and you can bop with it. Like I want to do those.
Okay, okay, okay. What about you, Dawn? What is the dream type of game for you?
The dream game for me has got to be an RPG. Like two of my favorite games of all time are Final Fantasy VII and Persona 5 Royal. Um, I just I love games that have it's a long game with a great world and great characters is such a fantastic combination. I love how every decision that you make matters. Everything from a dialogue choice to do you visit this location or not? Do you speak to this person or not? You know, gives so many different possibilities for how your game is going to play out. Yeah, I love an RPG of just taking a game and playing it in a way that suits you and reflects you, and trying something new. Like I just finished playing Fallout 3 and made some very bad choices that I would never make in real life. But it's a video game, so it's a video game. It's safe. So yeah, I think it's got to be an RPG.
All right, I love those answers. RPG is definitely a fave of mine, hard agree. In rhythm games, I will never get tired of playing Project Diva. That is one game that I will break my fingers for. I don't care. It's for Miku, I'll do it.
Good for me.
All right, so another question that we got is La Rosa X. If you have a story you think would make a good game, but no connections or experience, how would you personally reach out to game dev companies without really feeling silly for doing so? That's a good question. That's a good question. All right, either of you can lead us off.
Um, let's see. Okay, so that's always really difficult. And if you're approaching like a company directly, you've got to understand that like this would be potentially like a business venture for them. So as far as like documentation, understanding the ins and outs and what it would take to create these things, if you're going to do a super direct thing like that, you've got to have things fleshed out and understandable and walk them through that concept. If you're kind of like wanting to prove more of that proof of concept, if you're doing something that's a little bit more niche-ish, which I did my weird twin shooter educational game. No one knew what that meant, so like kind of like getting like a small team together to make a prototype and having like a proof of concept. It doesn't have to look amazing, but it just like proves the context of what you're doing, and then explain the rest of it out and refining that prototype to where like people see what your vision is, even if all the rest of it isn't completely to the top tier that you're imagining, but that can get you started to get closer to that point to perhaps get funding and things along those lines. So it's fleshing these out so other people can see what your idea is and understand it in the same way that you understand it, but not waiting until it's completely done, so getting your important parts in so they bite and then go from there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I hard agree with the fact that it's a business transaction, because with a lot of people, while the idea may sound cool, sometimes they also worry, can it sell? Like what will it do for us? So I hard agree with that. Dawn, do you have any additional feedback that you'd like to add on to that?
It's a really good question. In fact, I was on Twitter not that long ago, and a dev that was talking about this and mentioned that sometimes for the studios there could be legal implications if, for example, you give an idea, they take the idea and make the game. There could potentially be like certain, because like you mentioned, it's a business venture, so there could be some legal implications there. And that's fantastic advice about the proof of concept. I know a lot of studios have online. I think most, if not all, have online presence on social media, and pay attention to their communities. And they do look at kind of the ideas and like the fan art and stuff like that people create. And they're always keen, they're always keen to see it and see people engaging with the games that they make and seeing people enjoy them and being fans of their studios and their work. So probably even just kind of having a presence on social media, kind of, look at this really cool concept that we have. You never know. The studio might pick it up. You never know.
Very true, very true. Thank you guys so much for that. And then our last question that we're going to ask, and we're going to ready to end it so we can go on a short break for our first speaker of the day. Thulani X, Do you recommend anything for someone who isn't a creative writer but a visual artist? I have ideas, but I am not sure how to translate to a story.
I would say a community. Um, as far as it goes, like when it comes to artists and things, so like the other key person on my team is an artist, and she's essentially fleshing out her portfolio as she's working together with Urchins and Ink. And so creating your images, someone can see your art and kind of just like that's the exact thing that I'm seeing for what I want for my game. Like I have forbidden myself from working on art because I will never do the game if I work on the art. I just it's not my thing. So demonstrating your skills, communicating with people, getting your art out there, creating a presence. Like you never know when some character that you've created just like hits someone home for what they're going for what they visualize with their thing. And so like having your stuff out there, being diverse about it, communicating it to as many people as possible, getting it out there is honestly the best way to snag someone that can like fulfill the background story for the rest of the character, because arting impacts people so many different ways, and those with a gift of storytelling can flesh out an entire thing just from something that they've seen, but they can't do that if they don't see what your work is.
Definitely, definitely. And you know what? That definitely makes sense. Totally makes sense. All right. Well, those are the last of the questions that we have, and we are running up out of time at this point. So, let's thank you guys for coming. You guys have given off so much potential like information for people to use getting into game dev. I would like to once again in the chat, I'm shouting you guys out. Everyone check out Dawn and Karen on Twitter. Check out their stuff, give them a follow, throw some hearts in the chat. This was an amazing first panel for the entire gala, and there's more to come after that. So once again, thank you, Dawn, Karen, for spending time and talking with me, talking with everyone else here. I definitely learned a lot. They learned a lot, and this was just a phenomenal time. I am just truly taken away with how great this was.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been great to
Thank
be
you so
here.
much for having us.
All right, you guys. So that's going to be all for the Rise Again Name Dev developers with Karen and Dawn. We are now going to go on about a 30-minute break now until our first speaker of the day. We're going to be speaking with Danny Lalanders, the head dev of Validate, and she will be talking to us about getting into game dev if you're just an illustrator. So make sure to come back in about 30 minutes, and we'll be going live with that talk. All right, Dawn, Karen, thank you so much, and everyone else, see you in about 30 minutes.
I am not looking at the chat you told me to look at because I'm stupid. Okay, cool. Hi everyone. What's up everyone? My name is Zayla Launders. I am a Black game dev. Uh, and I'm gonna give you a talk about using your artistic talent to get a job in the gaming industry. Um, Basically, I see that a lot of y'all have a lot of potential to really break into this industry, and I want to see more of y'all in here. Because getting into games is really easy. You literally just have to make a game. Well, sorry, you literally don't make a game when you're like you can, but like making games is hard. Um, but you literally just have to like know your skill, your talent, etc. I already lost the server, so I can't see if okay. Who is saying, Danny, you know what I do? What I do? You already busted my ass. Okay. Anyways, hi. I'm Dana Launders. I'm the lead producer of Validate Sterling Singles in your area. You can follow me on Twitter at Dana Launders. You should please follow me on Twitter. I don't really care actually. I don't care about followers. I don't care about that account. But support Validate. Stand Validate as always. Also, I'm a writer on Spirit Swap. I forgot to put this in here, but it's fine. So I wanted to surprise y'all. I've never showed anyone this before, so this is a Black Card member exclusive. Here is a little sneak peek of one of our end cards that's going to be in our demo. That's Malik Nahiri. So yeah, shout out to the LGBTs. I'll let y'all get your screenshots or whatever. But yeah, it's sometimes little straight bros. Excuse me, I don't know if I'm it's a little hot in my house. So yeah, shout out to the LGBTs. I just wanted to keep this up as long as possible. We gotta be a little gay with it. Y'all were actually the first people to ever see this. I've never shown anyone this before. So be lucky that I love y'all. But yeah, let's get into this. So I'm gonna preface this by saying I'm an artist, but I don't do art for games. I just know like a lot of artistic things. I have a lot of artistic talent and like an eye for art. That makes me sound like an AP art teacher. I am not that. I just like I just wanted to like, be honest. I'm a producer. I like hire artists. I literally go through tags and hire artists and find them for the work I need done for them. That's how I found both our CG artist and CG artist Noah and our end card artist Sam. And then Dreba, our UI artist, UX designer. I found them through a tag. Who else? Many people on his team, I found them through a tag. So this is why I be on your asses about fucking use that hashtag, because I need y'all to use that hashtag so you can get some work. Because that's how I'm literally finding people, and I'm also recommending people for other people. So I've helped a lot of y'all get jobs. I'm constantly recommending people to my game dev friends to hire. And I will literally continue to help y'all if you have the right resources and the right portfolio to really spread that out. So, you're an artist, right? You want to get into game development? Do you really want to get into game development? Do you like really want to get into game development? Because let's have a very open and honest discussion about what that really means. Game development is commitment. It is literally a commitment. You have to commit to it. Like, especially if you have a contract or you're getting paid for it, you literally have to commit to it. And a lot of people don't like realize that like, oh, this is something that like I can just do as a like, once every couple months. No, you have to commit to it. Especially if you have a contract, you really got to commit to it because you are providing goods for other people. If it's your own game, you can take your time. I know some game devs who have been working on the same game for like 5 years. Who cares? Like, people have lives. Games cost money and they take time to make. But if you want to get into this industry and start doing contract work, you have to realize that this is a commitment. Some jobs will have you working pretty much full time, like 40-hour weeks. I think working 40-hour on anything a week is kind of insane. But I mean, I spend like 15 hours a week on Validate. And I'm probably doing the most, besides our artists. Our artists are definitely doing a lot more than me currently. But like, I don't like 40-hour work weeks does not exist in my mind. That's dumb. Life is too short. Why would I spend 40 hours a week working? Like, sure, I want to get paid, but whatever. This is not about me ranting about working, but it's about me being honest with y'all. Like I said, artists typically take a long time with art. Some people are really fast drawers. Oh, are you a drawer? Let me see your drawer. Like some high school shit. But like, some people are really fast at drawing and some people are really slow at drawing. And that, depending on that, it can be 40 to 60 to even 80-hour work weeks. I literally would not recommend spending 80 hours on anything. I mean, more than 40 hours on anything a week. Especially as an artist, you have to really worry about your health, fingers, your wrists, developing carpal tunnel. I have carpal tunnel and it really sucks. Sometimes because I played volleyball for years, I didn't take care of my hands. But it's just like, you have to really be honest with yourself and making sure that you are ready to commit and not harm yourself in the process. So 60 to 80-hour work weeks is not typical. That's actually called crunch culture. A famous quote for me: crunch culture is ass. I literally don't believe in crunch culture. I will delay validate for as long as I want to. If that means that my workers are not being overworked. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't have a publisher, so I really can control my Alex. I really can control like my production schedule as a producer. That's literally my job. So I would rather my team just like, take it easy than having to work 60, 80 hours a week. That's dumb. That doesn't make sense. Also, it's never that serious. Shit can get delayed. I know gamers are impatient and terrible people, but if a game gets delayed another year, who cares? You're not gonna die. It's a fucking game. Go play the millions of other games out there. But an actual definition of crunch culture is that in the video game industry, crunch is compulsory overtime during development of a game. Crunch is common in the industry and can lead to work weeks of 65 to 85 hours for extended periods of time. So it's not just like 65 to 80 hours 1 week. You're doing that for like sometimes weeks, if not months. And that's really bad on you because you're literally spending like so much time on something that's it's just not that serious. Like, it literally is not that serious. You're just spending more time working than sleeping. Why? Why? What about seeing your friends? Getting a hug from your loved ones. What happened to that? So it's just like, it's dumb. It's a way to cut costs of game development. The reason why crunch culture is very common is because people get paid by contracts. No. People get paid salaried or by contract. And a contract is like a certain amount of time, so they have to meet within the time, so you don't pay them overtime. It's the same reason why if you're working overtime on a part-time job, because I think it's 40 hours, if you're working overtime, it's time and a half. The game industry doesn't want to pay that time and a half because they don't want to pay people. And even then, they don't even pay the people they have enough. So, it's not making sense, babes. But yeah, crunch sucks. Don't crunch. It's common in indie, double A, and triple A. A big misconception is that crunch culture is not common in indie. It very much is, especially when it comes to like when indie developers have like really shitty publishers that don't let them like delay their game, like they have to meet it. Also, a lot of people think that that's kind of the indie grind. You have to crunch a lot. I don't believe in that personally. Um, that's not my portion. I don't. Why? Why? It's not that serious. It's a fucking game. It is literally a game, bro. It's not that serious. Um, but as an artist, you should really be careful about doing that because, like I said earlier, that can affect your health. I mean, obviously, it can affect everyone's health, but if you are drawing 40 hours a week, your hand is gonna be like, bro, we gotta chillax. You're doing too much. Especially if you're not like stretching, like doing your little wrists and your little, everything, or like giving yourself hand massages or whatever. Sorry, I put a lot of blush on my nose. It's making my nose itch and my piercing. So that's why I'm like constantly stitching my nose. But like anyways, um, yeah, prioritize you, not your work. So now that I say that, let's be a little more realistic here. Do you really want to do that? Like, do you want to get into the game industry? I'm not saying that to deter you by any means, but let's be a little more real. The first question is, do you really want to do this? Do you have time to commit to a project that could potentially take up more time than you anticipated? When I first started Validate, I thought this was gonna be a fucking breeze, bro. No, bitch. It's not a breeze. It fucking sucks. It's sometimes I work 2 hours a day on Validate, and sometimes I work 10 hours a day on Validate. Like it's that kind of commitment to everything. And it's just like, honestly, I don't regret it. I love my job. I love Validate. I love the success it's brought me. That makes me sound like a fucking terrible person. Whatever, who cares? I just love um that it's gonna make me money one day. So yeah. And I like how it's just like changing the industry. I like how this is like the first time people have really seen a game like this. And people are really excited about a game like this. And that's why I love my job. But sometimes you may take a job that like really just eats up all your time. Like literally all of your time. And you don't really know that. Like no one really anticipates a game to take that much time before they start working on it. Some games can even take too much time to the point where you're just like, yeah, I have to step away from this. And doing that is fine. Like stepping away from projects is fine. But when you're in a contract, it's a little harder to do that. Like to have to end your contract, especially like with corporate, like it just gets a little messy. So really just ask yourself, like, do you have the capacity to do this? And also mental health, like mental wellness to do this. Because to do something like this, you really do have to have a strong head on your shoulder. I'm not saying that to deter you, but like you have to have confidence in your work, in the game that you're creating, X, Y, and Z. Like you have to really know that like what you're doing is good and that you will continue to have the confidence to know it's good. Does that make sense? Probably not. But it's just like you really just have to be real with yourself. Like I said, I asked that question not to steer you away, but to be honest with you, when I said I Validate was like a way bigger time commitment than I really thought it would be. But it is what it is. I love my job. I really do love my job. And you might find a job that you love, but like you don't really care for it like that. Like you might like a job, but you don't really care for it. And like having to step away from projects is really fucking hard. I personally have done it like a couple times, but like it's very much like something I try to avoid. And as an artist, you do have a big role in the team. So stepping away is like, can deter the development as they find a replacement. Like I said, working on games can be really fucking stressful. And if you can't handle stress, maybe this is not for you. Maybe just do commissions or just do other work. Because when you work on games, you're working with a team, and some people aren't team players. Some people are very much better as solo people. And like that's fine. That's fine, honestly. Um, but you just really have to be honest with yourself and really ask yourself. So, let's say you can handle the stress. What's next? Let's figure out our strengths. I know this is a cheesy thing that people really ask, but like, what are your strengths as an artist? Are you good at character art? Are you good at character design? Are you good at backgrounds? Are you good at concept art? Are you good at pixels? Like, what are you good at? What is your strength as an artist? Because if you're good at something, great. But really know that you're going to be doing this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for months at a time. People like really need to like understand that like games are really repetitive. You're pretty much doing the same thing over and over until the game is done. Like same thing, different batch, but it's pretty much the same motion over and over again. And that's really tedious to some people. It's the same reason why people get into animation or people leave animation. You're pretty much doing the same thing. And if you've done like commission work before, you definitely know how it is. When I said like this shit could be tedious, especially if you have like a hard client, you can end up working for like a terrible studio who makes you do the same design 10 times because they can't like really figure out a way that they want it to look. Like you really just have to be prepared for that. And it's not for everyone because that's incredibly frustrating having to rework something like 10 times. That's terrible. If someone has to do that, I would cry. I would literally cry. Like, but like I said, know your strengths. If you want to make any money off your art, you need a portfolio. Keep telling you. I keep telling you. Put your motherfucking portfolio in the link of your bio or somewhere visible on your profile. Because you're talking about, oh, I'm looking for work. Why is no one commissioning me? Babe, your pinned is a picture of Mac Nicholson in Hamilton. Are we serious here? You're talking about you're looking for work. How are we supposed to know you're looking for work? You don't post art. You don't have your portfolio anywhere. And if you do, it's in your card and no one's clicking a fucking card. No one is clicking a card. I keep telling y'all. If every time I see a card in anyone's bio, I'm not clicking that shit. Because 9 times out of 10, it's some unreadable ass font or with a badass color or something flashy. I'm like, you're gonna give me a fucking seizure. Let's be real. Y'all need to be more serious about your art career if you actually want a career in art. Sorry, I literally just went off because that thing has been pissing me off for fucking months. But it's just like, guys, please put your portfolio on your profile. Post art. Put your portfolio in your profile. Really advertise yourself. Advertise yourself. If you are looking for work, post in the tags. Put your portfolio. Just have that shit pinned. Your pin, if you're looking for work, your pin should not be a meme. It should be your work. Oh my god. Y'all be killing me with that shit. Oh my god. There's been so many artists I have passed up on for hire and validate because I could not find art. Or I couldn't find a portfolio. Y'all got me going crazy here. Sorry, I know I'm dragging some of y'all. I had to let it out. I literally had to put it. I literally had to let it out. Y'all got me fucked up. How you looking for a job, bitch? Where's your portfolio? Oh, I have a card. No. The gag is that my website is a card, but at least I bought my domain and put it at .com. So, but my website actually is my portfolio. DanielLaunders.com. You can literally look at my shit right there. But anyways, like I was saying, make sure so you have your portfolio. You just you just bypass my entire rant. What is on your portfolio? What do you want to be hired for? Is what you should be putting on your portfolio. Like your main skill. So for example, I see Koi in the chat right here. Koi is known for like their pieces. Like they do pieces. Like these extensive, amazing ass pieces that I have. Their mob cycle one makes me feel crazy every time I think about it. And Koi came to me. Actually, I shouldn't tell the story because I didn't ask. Sorry, Koi. But basically, Koi is like known for their pieces, and a person like Koi would put their big pieces that's like their like most notable pieces on their portfolio. So when game devs are looking at her portfolio, they can know, oh, this person's great. We can have them doing like concepts. We can have them doing CGs. We can have them doing like end cards. I'm talking about for visual novels. I don't know how games work in other spheres, but for visual novels, like this is like when I see Koi's art, I'm just like, oh, this is a CG artist right here, or this is someone who is good at character design. So have your portfolio really reflect what you want to do, but at the same time, have some versatility. If you're somewhat good at backgrounds, but you are really key at character design, have both. Because it's really good to have range as an artist. Like, I mean, this might hurt some feelings, but it's really good to have some range as an artist. Some of y'all are saying you want to pursue art, like a career in art, but you really only draw bust headshots. You gotta have some more range than that. You can't get a job if you only draw bust 3/4 view. Like we gotta do a little more. But like at the same time, it's just like if you're good at like somewhat good at backgrounds, but you're really good at character design, put both in there because you never know. Some people may be looking for a character designer and they see your backgrounds, you're just like, I fucking love how this person does this. Like, you never know who is looking at your work and who might like your work enough to want to hire you. So always have more. Like, always have more. But, I'm sorry for the call outs. I'm sorry. I just have to be really honest with y'all because if I'm not honest with y'all, someone else will be, and you don't want that person to be honest with you because they will literally hurt your feelings because it's more personalized. I'm talking to a range of people, so I can be mean because it's not directed at one person. So, hope that helps. Oh, yeah, go take your meds if you haven't. But yeah, after you figure out your strengths, so let's say you're a character designer. You want to go find work to go do some concepts for people. How are you gonna find a job? Well, there's this wonderful website called Work with Indies. They're really nice people. I really like how they do things. Their website is really nice. It's also free to like apply to jobs and like do all that stuff. To put a job on, you have to pay some money, but obviously. They're really nice people. They are constantly updating their job portfolios. If someone could put a link to Work with Indies in the chat and in the stream, that would be great. Yes, they also post job postings in BCM, in a server. So yeah, if you really want a resource, check them out. Another place I would recommend is Twitter. Everyone is constantly looking for someone to hire. Just make sure to always follow the game devs or the game devs for hire hashtag. People are constantly looking for work. I was looking for work. I always have people like send portfolios. I have a shared email account with a couple friends about portfolio, like with different people's portfolios, that we just constantly are just passing around to each other. And yeah, Twitter's a really good place. Reddit. What else? I guess TikTok. Discord. I don't know well, Tumblr. I guess Tumblr is kind of dead. But yeah, Twitter's your big place. Twitter and TikTok, and Reddit are your biggest place to find jobs, for game dev. So the last thing I want to talk to y'all about in this section is advocating for yourself. You guys need to have some fucking confidence. Stand up! Like, stand up! I'm so fucking serious when I say stand up and have some fucking confidence in yourself. Y'all be talking about, oh, I'm confident in my art. I don't know if I can make a job. Yes, you can! Yes, you fucking can! I like seeing y'all like put yourselves down be driving me fucking crazy because y'all are so talented. Stop putting yourself down! God damn! It makes me sick to my stomach. That y'all be putting yourself down. Like, y'all need to, once y'all realize that you need to be your own biggest cheerleader, you will be so happy because at the end of the day, all you got is yourself. Ain't nobody on the internet can say shit to you if you don't believe it yourself. Like, and also, if you have confidence in your work will be better. Your work will literally be better if you have confidence in the work that you are doing. Y'all be killing me with this shit. Stop putting yourself down on a timeline. Go make a vent account. Or go use your private. Like, it'd be so discouraging too, because that shit is like a domino. You do it once, and everyone else on the timeline starts putting themselves down. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? Literally, because one day you're gonna be like, oh, my art's not that good. It's almost gonna be like, oh yeah, it really isn't. You can improve X, Y, and Z. And your feelings are gonna be fucking hurt. Your feelings would not have been hurt if you shut your fucking mouth in the first place. Y'all be setting yourself up for failure. Y'all literally set yourself up. Event account. Like, I guess people don't really call event accounts anymore. Private. Yeah, private Twitter. When I first got on Twitter, people used to call it event accounts. But now people can just call it private because I guess a private really isn't an event account anymore. It could just be a private account. Y'all need to get real. Be real. Be real. Be real with yourself. Be real with the world. Really, be realistic with your goals. Be realistic with your talent. Be real. Y'all be living this fucking fantasy world saying, oh, everyone's gonna become Picasso. No! Picasso is one dude. He's like the most famous artist in the world. Y'all not gonna be no fucking Picasso, and that doesn't make your work any less valuable. Yes, retweet your own shit. Constantly boost yourself up. No one gives a fuck if you retweet your art or you bump it 3 times in one day. Who cares? Who cares? Because at the end of the day, you gotta show that piece off that you spent time on. Show off your art. You are spending 10 hours in a piece and you're not posting. What's wrong with you? Y'all better let people see it. But also, one thing I really am gonna have to advocate for y'all is to make sure that you're getting paid. Get paid for your work. Especially if it's from a big company. Getting paid. Oh, we'll get to this. Yes, like I said, in indie games, being underpaid is very common and sometimes unavoidable. A lot of indie games literally don't have a budget to like for people to pay them. Like that's just kind of just the reality of being indie. Like you just have to work on a game for free until games come out and then you get the money from the game sales. Like and it's really unfortunate that that's the way it is um for indie because indie I wouldn't even say double A has this problem because double A got some money. But really just in indie, like this is like a huge problem. Indie games are not being funded. People are not getting money for their indie games, and the money that they are getting is like really inaccessible to most people. So most people are just making games for free, which is bad. No one should be working on something for free. Like, but we ain't here to talk about indie being underfunded. Just make sure that you're advocating for yourself. Make sure that people are not disrespecting you and trying to offer you $20,000 for like 100 end cards. Sorry, 100 illustrations. That's not that doesn't make sense. That's very much underpaying you. Know your rates, know your skill, know your talent, and make sure if you're not sure about how much you're getting paid, go ask someone. I would say ask me, but I don't like talking to y'all, so don't ask me. Um, ask someone. But well, you can ask me, but I'm really selective about. You can ask me if you like. Email me and ask for a meeting, then you can ask me. Don't hit my DMs because I'm gonna ignore you. I'm sorry. I be getting too many DMs. Y'all be bothering me, and I'm just like, bro, please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah, no, boundaries are important. Is that's one thing I really am learning. Don't DM me if you're asking me a career question. Hit my email. I got an email for a reason. It's called danalaunders@gmail.com. If you have a question, go email me. Then I'll respond. Um, the reason why I've been kind of like that is because the bigger Valorant gets, the more some of y'all start to annoy me a little more. And I need to keep my distance so I don't have anyone trying to pull some parasocial relationship shit with me. Because I'm not the one. I ain't the one, girls. Please leave me alone. Please. Parasocial relationships? No. I'm not Dream. So y'all go leave me alone. Great. One of the things I really am gonna have to like drill into y'all's head is don't be afraid. There's literally nothing to be afraid of. You should not be afraid of anyone. But maybe your parents. Who knows? But you shouldn't be afraid of anyone in this industry. Um, that's really how I have gone through it. At first, I was incredibly intimidated by everyone. Um, and now I'm not afraid of anyone. I don't give a fuck if you work for BioWare for 20 years. I don't care. I'm not afraid of y'all. I have nothing to be afraid about because I don't. You know what? I would say I don't respect most of y'all, which is not true. I just don't really care about like game dev BS. So I kind of just mind my business and just keep it to myself. Some people are not the same way, but don't be afraid. I'm like an angel, like one of them god angels. Do not be afraid. You know what? You know what? To be fair. Okay, someone was like, "Oh, Danny snaps a little." Everyone, also Danny, don't be afraid. Listen, I have to be real with y'all because if I'm not being real, who is? Do you want a white person to be real with you? Because then that's gonna hurt your feelings. Also, think of me as your cool aunt. So it's coming from a place of love because I actually want you guys to win. I want to see more people of color in this industry because we need more of us. Honestly, I think there's too many white people in this industry. And the solution is not, I mean, the solution. Let me stop. 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 But you know, a lot of these people in this industry are really nice. Like really, really nice. Like nice to the point where they are trying to that is true. Really nice to the point where they're like literally actively trying to 15 minutes left, or has it been 15 minutes? Sorry. Who are like really trying to get me to win. Oh, 15 minutes left. Okay, great. I'm almost done. So it's just like we'll get to questions at the end. But so just keep all your questions. I'll answer them at the end. But basically, like, yeah, everyone's really nice in the industry. People want you to win. People want me to win, especially. And like, if you are making something great, people will want you to win. If you are very talented, people will want you to win. They will always try to make sure you're winning. Sure, there's people who are very predatory in this industry, and I very much acknowledge that. But most people generally want you to win. And that's great because if, like, sure, people be catty, game devs be fighting, I be staying out of it. But if you're around the right people, they will literally make sure you will always succeed. And that's the greatest thing about game dev. So, let's talk about contracts. You got the job. Now you have to look about contracts. Contracts suck. Do not work without pay and or a contract. I keep telling y'all this. Stop working without a fucking contract. Stop working without a contract. Stop working without a contract. If there is no money amount attached to your work, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm saying that as someone who literally made that mistake. When I first started Validate, I had people working without contracts. Because I was stupid. I didn't know any better. I literally did not know how all this shit worked. I literally just got in this industry and, oh, I do have a resume. I literally got in this industry, did not know better. Because when you start game dev, people don't tell you these things. There's no, oh, how to get into game dev, FAQ. That doesn't exist. And if it does, it's for white dudes. It's not going to work for someone as black as me. Like, a lot of companies will try to exploit you. Who was the recent example of this? Someone just visited me recently. So do you guys know when corporations do, like, no, not corporations, when artists do, like, artists as in musicians do, like, the draw this album cover challenge, and the winner gets, like, a free album cover, and, like, they don't pay you, they don't put money anywhere in that. That's what companies will do to you. They will literally play in your face like you're fucking stupid, and they will literally try to exploit the fuck out of you. Oh yeah, Billy with Adobe. That was the one who I was just thinking of who did it. Yeah, that shit was really whack. I'm not gonna come on here and be mad at an 18-year-old because that bitch don't know no better. She's probably 19 now. She still don't know no better. 19, I didn't know shit. So, like, that's probably, like, out of her control. That's probably just, like, people working behind the scenes, and then they just put her name on it. So I'm not, like, really tripping over that. But Adobe already sucks. Pirate Adobe, duh. But, you know, one thing I will really drill in every one of y'all's head, do not do an art test if you're not getting paid. Do not do an art test if you are not getting paid. Art tests are not free. You know what an art test is? A way for a company to use your assets without your paying you. Because you can turn this in and not get paid, and they will show it to someone that they actually are paying for them to copy, and then you're in a whole legal battle because you can't really prove beyond a corporation that you drew this first. Like, do you guys understand? Don't get exploited by these companies. They will literally play in your face like you're stupid. They do this often. Literally, like every week, it's a new company who's trying to exploit another person. Do you know how much that sucks? That shit is terrible. Oh yeah, there's also a lot of free alternatives to Adobe products. My personal favorite is Pixlr. It's a web application because I have Photoshop on my computer. I just don't like opening it because I don't think it should take like 2 minutes to open it. It probably takes like 1 minute, but I don't have the patience for that. My web browser is faster than Photoshop. So, but yeah, read your contracts. 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 A lot of people don't read their contracts. Like, a lot of people literally don't read their contracts. So here are key things to look out for in a contract. First, ownership. That is literally it's literally like the second most important thing. Make sure you know if you own the work that you like did for make sure you own the work that you did for like this. Like, if you own it, if you don't own it, if you can use it in your portfolio later, if you can't, if it's under NDA forever, if it's not, read that. Make sure you know that so you don't get yourself in trouble. Okay. Second one is payment. How are you getting paid for this? And how much you're getting paid for this? A lot of companies will try to lowball you like shit. They will literally try to lowball you like it's crazy. Like, they don't care. A lot of in indie, lowballing is common because people don't have money. Like, people literally don't have money. Double A could be the similar situation. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Triple A, if they're lowballing you, hit the fucking brakes because they got the money to pay for it. As like, I'm gonna be honest, Validate is lowballing, but we don't have money. So I like the money that I tried to like, as for indie, it's so hard as a produce from a producer standpoint. It's so hard for money to like for us to get money. And I said this earlier, but like, if you're working indie, just expect to get lowballed. I don't know how to say this without like I'm not justifying it by any means, but that's just the reality of the situation that like people really just have to be honest with themselves. And it sucks, but you know, it is what it is. I think this is the last one. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I fucked up. Okay, never mind. Third one. Know your fucking rights as a worker. Know your rights as a worker. Know your rights as a worker. As everyone knows, game developers can be a little crazy sometimes. A little loco. A little terrible people. A little racist. A little homophobic, a little transphobic, misogynist. They can be a little bad, like very bad people. Know your rights. Know if you have HR. Know who you can talk to if something happens. You know who you can talk to if someone speaks to you in a way you don't like. Know you can talk to if any situation comes up. If you're not getting paid, X, Y, and Z. Know your rights. I think it's really I think it's really important for people to like know that and also be able to advocate for yourself. If someone says something that makes you uncomfortable, say something. Please say something. We need to get all these creeps out of this industry because I swear to God, I can't do it no more. Every day is something new. Be normal. And also, that's my talk. If any questions, I think I have 5 minutes. I do have 5 minutes. So I have 5 minutes to answer any questions anyone has. Chilling. My throat hurts. And I'm also about to go get some food. I'm about to get some fucking pizza. As a visual novel developer, do you have any information about starting from the writer perspective? Yeah, just write. You literally just have to write. Have a story. Just do it. Renpai is the easiest way to do narrative-based visual novels. Just do it. That's literally what I did. I wrote the original Malik and Isabel and Mal wrote. And I just started. That's how Valley started. I wrote that in like 2 days. And I was just like, let's go. So yeah. What art test would you be using? I found Noah and Sam through Portfolio Day. But also adding race hashtags, so like, artists of South Asia or like Asian, you know what I mean. Black artists, Caribbean artists, like use those hashtags. Because one thing I do is that I don't hire white people. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to work with white people, so I don't hire them. That is that simple. I am my own boss. I'm literally the head boss. So everyone who works for me, I choose them. So I just basically go through these hashtags, make sure to confirm that they're a person of color, and keep moving. So yeah, Portfolio Day is a really big one though. I know that happens like 4 times a year, but there's other artist hashtags. But always just be in there because you never know who's looking. All right, I saw so many. Okay, let's take one from the chat. What are some things you would do different in your journey? Start with a contract. Really have an idea of what I wanted to do with this game before I started doing it. That's kind of just like the most realistic thing I can tell anyone. Just make sure you know what you want to do and how big of a scope this game is going to be and how much of a time commitment it is before you start. All right. What's the best way to get your feet wet in the industry as an artist when you're coming out of school? Basically, like I said, just put yourself out there. Apply for jobs. Really have your portfolio. Make sure you're doing work that you want to be doing on games. Look around. Just apply because you really just have to apply. You either get the job or you don't. If you don't get the job, on to the next one. It's that simple. Also, if you want to, you can also make your own game. Ren'Py is really easy. Find some friends, make a game. Okay, let's see. I have one from the chat. Great talk. You mentioned being lowballed with money as indie. How low should we expect? It really just depends. One thing I can just say about being lowballed in indie is that if you just make sure that it's the amount that makes sense to you. Am I done? Okay, one more. Okay, cool. Just make sure it makes sense to you. Like, this is the amount of money that you are comfortable doing, like, you're comfortable with, to the point where, like, the work that you're doing feels like it's worth this amount of money. That's really just the best advice I can tell you. All right, I have one more question. Let's see. Okay, I'll do 2 more because this one's a quick one. For game budget, do you recommend going for prototype funds? Yes. Any fund that you can apply to, go fucking apply. Because the worst thing you can say is no. But always apply for funds that apply to you. Check for grants, check for funds. Make sure that it's a fund and a grant, like you're not owing that money back most of the time, because prototype funds, you should not be owing that money back. But grants, always apply for a grant. Always apply for a grant. Any grant you see, apply for it. Even if it doesn't make sense, go apply for it. Always apply for a grant. Okay, my last question. Okay, when you look at an artist's art portfolio, are you also taking into consideration their sketches and works in progress? Yes. So let me pull up Noah's portfolio so I can actually give an example. Oops. Let's see. Noah. So I guess Noah's portfolio doesn't work. Let me pull up Sam's. But basically, I just here. Oops. You guys, I know Shell is like killing me right now. Shell's like, Danny, you have to stop talking. Shut up. but it's fine because Stella loves me. So whatever. It's really funny that Sam has a card, and I advocated against everyone not using their card, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Someone can probably throw that in the stream chat. But so we're looking at Sam's portfolio. Their first art was that Jolene piece from JoJo. I couldn't remember the name of my favorite anime. The second one was like, really good pieces. Right. So when I first looked at Sam's portfolio, I saw that they have a really good eye for color that I love. I love this style of coloring a lot. They actually were like my top choice because we actually went through a couple candidates before we decided with Sam. So I like really love their color. I love how like they have complex colors, and I love how they have like very simplified colors. Because like having a range of like your talent, is like really important. Show like your really complex stuff, show things that aren't as complicated. Just like, really have it out there. So, and then also if you scroll down a little, to, I think this is Apex. So there are Apex drawings of different, the characters in like underwear, showing different body shapes. That is really important to me, in the validate hiring process, because we are a game with characters with a lot of different body shapes. And I needed to know that the artist I pick can draw fat characters, fat, thicker characters, not just your skinny macho man. Like, it's really important to me that not only can Sam draw these different body types, but also draw different skin tones. Really have range. I understand that drawing only Black people is great, and it is. Shout out to Black people, but have some range. If people can't tell that you can draw pale skinned folks, they're not gonna hire you. Same with vice versa. If you only draw pale skinned folks and you draw no dark skinned folks, they're not gonna hire you. Duh. So yeah, have some range. Make sure your portfolio looks nice, it's accessible, and it works. Sam's portfolio is beautiful. Gets the job done. It has their art. It has their commissions, their online store, their Twitter, Twitch, their Ko-fi, Instagram, Patreon. It also has their email. Your fucking email front and fucking center. I'm not about to look for it. I am not about to look for it. Also, if you're looking for work, have your DMs open. Have your DMs open. I understand that like people on Twitter are weird, but sometimes it's a lot easier for me to just DM someone than just to write emails, because emails be taking time and a DM takes 2 seconds. Professionalism, am I right? But anyways, Shella's yelling at me to get off, so I will. But it's been amazing doing this. I really love talking to you guys very much. I hope everyone learned something today. And I hope everyone has a good day. Also, stand validate, which is validate on Steam. If you haven't already, I'm coming for your fucking neck.
half. Oh. Okay. There's like a sweet spot here that I've been trying to find. Didn't find it there either. Woo! 12-10. Trav Live on BCM channel. Hello everybody! Welcome to the Black Card Gala! Hello! Thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to Hades Speedruns already in progress. We just quite literally finished our first one. Are we winning, son? I guess so. Hi, Chris. It's good to see you. But yes. Oh, wait, that was our 269th win, too. Nice. But yes, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Black Card Gala. I hope you're all having a great first day. Moosh! Ah! But yes, welcome. Hope you are all enjoying the event. Thank you for stopping by. Excuse me. If you don't know who I am, hello, I am Trav, aka Dragondropit, he, him. I'm a Hades speedrunner, variety streamer, and graphic designer. And I hope that you enjoy what I'm trying to showcase today. Yeah, that's GG's, that was our first run. I think I'm going to do another single run after I finish this out, or figure this out, because, for some reason, let's see, settings, maybe? Let's see. Space. No, let's set to 1. Well, I think it has to be a number that's on the 2. Still haven't had a complete run of Hades. Oh, Moosh. Oh, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. 5, I guess. So, okay, so that's 1. I think it should be better on something on my right hand. I'll put it on tilt though. Okay. Does that work? Okay. So, reset? No. Okay. That's working. Moosh, you're in for a treat. I'm just saying. I think I'll do this on my favorite aspect. Gun with Eris. Well, I did kind of promise Voltage a spear run, but I don't know if we're still here. Yeah. This is the weapon that I practice the most, I think. So, yeah, let's see what we can do, shall we?
No turning back. Lord Zeus.
God. I don't know why it's not letting me do it, but yeah. Chaos. Yes, how's everyone doing today? Tis me. Yeah, that's fine. So, thank you for the 3 gifted. Thank you so much. So, I'm really appreciative. Oh my god, the sub luck though. Oh, love you guys so much. Thank you. Oh my goodness. We actually just got my favorite boon too from the hammers. Okay. Aries. Bo Phoenix, thank you for the follow. Thank you for dropping by. Whew. Okay. Alley-oop. Cool.
The curse of chaos has expired.
Alright, let's get it. Okay. Come here. Cool. As you can tell, we're already going a lot faster. Oh, Poseidon 2 and a title dash? Oh, thank goodness. Just dropped in from the BCM stream, already enjoying this a lot. I'm glad, I'm glad. Thank you for stopping by. Ooh. Dionysus, I guess.
You've been waiting for Megara.
Oh man, I missed. Adapt. Got him. Hey, VV Contrast, thank you for the follow. Thank you for dropping by. Okay. I probably should have taken Demeter in retrospect, but I mean, it's fine. Money. Hey, Sim! Thank you for the follow! Thank you for dropping by. Yes, this is my phrase every time someone follows me. Okay, key. The viral little noise is so cute. Thank you. The two sound effects for my follow and sub notifications are respectively the Breath of the Wild item get theme and then the Fire Emblem Awakening level up noises, because those are both games that I hold very near and dear to my heart. And they mean a lot to me. Let's see. Yes? I'll take that. Woo! Okay. About the same time. Interesting. Oh, hey, it's Meg again. Phase 1. Phase 2. I missed. Got him. Grab your darkness and let's go. Okay, now that we have Zeus and Poseidon, we can focus on our special build, which I personally like to go for a crit build, because you live by the crit, you die by the crit. That's my personal philosophy for most RPGs and games in general, so. Okay, let's go.
Made it to Asphodel.
Yeah. If y'all have any questions about what I'm doing, I can explain any of it for you. I know this game inside and out. Obviously there are some things that I just don't know yet, but like, there's a lot of things that I do know about this game, and I am happy to educate anybody.